What's up, Cowboy Nation, and welcome to another episode of Cowboys Cutting Up. I am one of the hosts, J-Stogs, the Buff Nerd. Let's go. And of course, I am joined by the man they call Trey Collis. How's it going, guy? Let's go.
It's go, man. It's been a good week. Longhorns lose. The Antlers won. Cowboys won.
That's a good week. That's a great week, man.
Cowboys are off this week.
Hey, we can't lose this week, right? There we go. We can't lose this week. That's awesome. But no, man, I'm with you. You know, it's been a good week. The rankings came out. My Horned Frogs, of course.
Dude,
you know,
can we just talk about how biased and crappy this ranking?
We can. Let's spend a few minutes. Before we do that, make sure that you smash that bell, click the like, and subscribe to Big Game Sports Buzz and Big Game Entertainment, where you can find all of your sports. And you get actually a chance to talk to people that played the game and fans as well. So, yeah, let's talk about this college football mess they call the CFP or CFB or whatever, because it's really trash, man.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. It really is. They haven't set up the stupid committee, which I'm so glad we're going to 12 teams here in the next.
Yes.
I'm so happy
for
this.
Because
it's so biased towards the SEC right now.
Yes.
You're telling me Alabama is ranked 6 above TCU, which I would argue TCU has had a tougher schedule than Alabama.
Yes, they have.
Tennessee is ranked 1 over Georgia and Ohio State. Yeah. I know Tennessee beat Alabama, but let's face the fact that Alabama is not as good as previous years. They're not. They almost lost to a Texas team who has 3 losses this year. They should have lost to A&M, who is fixing to fire their head coach and Jimbo Fisher. But TCU is over here. Play the number they played Oklahoma State, who's ranked number 8 at the time. They beat Kansas State. They beat all these ranked teams and pretty convincing.
Yeah, when they were ranked. Yeah.
Besides Oklahoma State, they won in overtime, but at the same time, they still won the game. But they played a tougher schedule than what. And Alabama's barely skating by, and they already have a loss. Oh, but let's put TCU at number 7 because Alabama. What made you? What eyeball test are you seeing that Alabama's the 6th best team in the nation? Give me a break.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can go on for days without this. I'm just so glad we're going. But it's set up because let's look at the facts this way. Georgia, let's say Tennessee loses to Georgia this week. It's in Georgia. So like in overtime. Yeah. But Georgia, let's just face the fact, Alabama's going to win the West. Yes. Georgia is going to win the East. Them two are going to play each other. So you're telling me if like Tennessee loses by 1, 3 or over in overtime to Georgia, you're going to keep Tennessee out of that conversation? Give me a break. They're going to this is the year they're going to have
LSU. Yeah, now if LSU can pull it off.
I don't trust pull it off. I don't trust Brian Kelly. I just don't. Brian Kelly does not have a good track record against Alabama. He's proven that in the college football and as Notre Dame. I just don't trust.
Man,
Brian.
I get that. I get that.
Anyway,
all right.
That's another
let's get into our Dallas Cowboys. Look, this is the halfway point, literally, of the season, right? They finished out at 6-2. And to be honest, I don't think, especially when Dak went down in that second game, and the way they looked in the first game against Tampa Bay, I don't think we honestly would have said we'll be 6-2 by the time we get to the bye. I don't think anyone said that. They really didn't. So I think the state of the team as it is right now is amazing. They've overachieved. They've overachieved, in my opinion. As my cousin would say, you got to have faith. She's right. You got to have faith. And maybe Dak has figured something out watching Cooper Rush run the offense and letting the players that are dynamic be dynamic, right? Are we ready to crown CeeDee Lamb as the number 1 receiver on this? Is he a 1 receiver? He's a number 1 on the team, but is he a 1 receiver? Legit.
Man, you're gonna hate this answer. I truly think we still don't know. right?
I don't hate that answer. I think that's fair.
We seriously don't know. And I said a couple shows ago that we're going to have to see through 17 games. I think that's what we're going to do. But being a number one, okay, let's look at Amari Cooper, who we traded our number one wide receiver to the Browns, who don't have a good starting quarterback. And whatever his freaking name is,
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. He has 300-yard games. 3. Yes. CD Lamb.
Yes. That's correct.
So, but what the Cowboys are doing is by committee. Like, CD Lamb's going to get his touches, but yet Dalton Schultz is getting his. Ferguson's getting his. Noah Brown was down with an injury. Michael Gallup's starting to get his.
Yes.
So I don't think that this Cowboy team needs a number one wide receiver if they rely on the run game like they have in this little 6-2 record that they have. I don't think they need a number one wide receiver. Do you need a receiver to go out and make a play? I think CeeDee Lamb can do that, but he can also drop a big pass at a big time as well too. But then you have Michael Gallup, who's like tippy-toe McGee over there, who can run that sideline better than anybody in the whole freaking world.
Right.
So he can make big-time catches as well. So I just believe that this team truly doesn't need a number one wide receiver. The defense keeps doing what they're doing. We keep running the ball, and Dak doesn't make mistakes. This is a Super Bowl caliber team without a number one wide receiver, and I truly believe that. Now, when it comes, who's going to make the only question is CeeDee Lamb going to make that big catch when we need it in like a 3rd and 15 situation game on the line,
right?
Plays like that. So he had to prove it. He's made some incredible catches. Maybe Dak coming back, he feels more comfortable with Dak than he did with Cooper Rush because they have a better chemistry than with Cooper Rush because they play together with the ones. And we saw that Noah Brown had a better relationship with Cooper than he did with Dak. So we'll see how that. And this bye week just came at a perfect time. And let's just say this: the Cowboys played this perfectly. They didn't listen to the hype. They took their L against the Eagles, which everyone was like, whatever, that's cool. Like they're like, no, we're sitting Dak out, and we're gonna rest him with 2 games that are winnable, and then we get our bye week, and he's gonna become fully healthy for that stretch run because they saw we're going to Green Bay. I know the Packers look like crap right now, but at the same time, we're going to Green Bay. We don't know what that weather is going to be like. It's been a nightmare occurred for the Dallas Cowboys. And then the Minnesota Vikings, man, 6-1. I mean, you say what you want to about them. They just got a big tight end in TJ Holker and him too. So these next 2 games are going to. This is what we're going to see. Dak's fully healthy, no excuses. Here we go. So we're going to have to wait and see. But man, like I said, we don't need a number one right now. As long as we rely on that running game and that defense, we truly don't need a one. I truly believe. I could be wrong, but would be the first time.
And I think the other part to it, and that's true. But I think the other part to it as well is when you look at, to your point, how it's been done in the first half of this season, where it hasn't been, with the exception of this past game with Chicago. And we're going to get into the Zeek, Tony, Pollard. Appreciate the like there. And again, make sure that you can comment. We want to see what you're saying out there, your thoughts. But, and we'll talk about the Zeek, Pollard dynamic and how that looks for the rest of the season as well as in the future. But, there really hasn't been a standout in these games. It has truly been a committee. The only standout really has been the defense.
Michael Parsons.
The defense. Yeah, Michael Parsons. But that's, that's something I think we've now become grown to expect. Like, there's a very legit backing for him to be an MVP, a league MVP this year. And it hasn't been done since Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, this year will be the year because there's really been no outstanding. I mean, I guess you could put Josh Allen. People say Jalen Hurts, but if you really watch Jalen Hurts play, no. I mean, Michael Parsons, the reason we're kind of 6-2.
Yeah,
it really is because his going back to the Detroit game, just that hustle that he made, he makes all these other players better around making him hustle. Like going back to the 1 yard line, the guy was going to score right away, but he stopped him at the 1, and the next play we forced a fumble. Just this hustle, and then even that fumble recovery last week again, he was back where Justin Fields was throwing, and then all of a sudden he's 20 yards on the field, recovering the ball, and returning for a touchdown. This team, the team goes as Michael Parsons goes, and it's no gas, no brakes, all gas kind of defense, and that's what Michael Parsons.
True that, Chucky. Appreciate you coming to the show. Scapegoat in Indianapolis Colts. Don't know who that is. Cowboys here, but hey, we can talk about, just about everything.
Oh, the scapegoat of they fire their offensive coordinator instead of Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Big Game Sports Buzz. Check us out Tuesday. We'll definitely talk about that, brother. But as far as the Cowboys themselves, man, I tell you this much. I love defense anyway. And so to see what they're doing and to see Michael Parsons be what he is and to see what Dan Quinn is doing, and this last game, I never would have expected 49 points. I never 49 points, right? And that's due in part, again, to the defense, but that's also due in part to the running back, right? But to see what they did with Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts was kind of that. And to your point, Philly was really let's see what this looks like. We'll sit Dak because we want to sit Dak. We're going to see what our offense can do and what they do and how this works, because you're going to see them in the playoffs again. I don't know if they're going to sit everybody at the end in December 24th on Christmas Eve for that game. If they have it locked up, they got first in the conference. Yeah, they may sit everybody.
Well, I think it all depends on what. Well, I mean, people are sleeping on the Giants. I mean, like everyone's like, "Oh, the Eagles."
I don't trust the Giants.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm saying, like, the Eagles have the easiest schedule in the world. The only hard games left are the Packers and us, right? And by the time they play us, it's second to last game of the season, Christmas Eve. We don't know what the record's going to be. But, I mean, if you look at Dallas, if they get past these next two games, tough ones on the road, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
It's tough on the road. If we get past
Green Bay is done.
I do too, but us going to Green Bay has been a nightmare of terrors, and I'm not until I see it, dude. I don't know. You don't know what the weather's going to be. I'm just saying hold your brakes because they're a different team out in Lambeau. They are.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
we can lose that game. And then it's also the game after a bye week where we're going to come out probably a little rusty. We're going to and who knows? It just depends on what the Packers do this week, right? It depends if they lose, they're done. They're not coming back, especially with the lead that the Vikings are going to have on them.
But Douche Dodgers is not going to let them run the ball like they need to.
Douche Dodgers is a stupid douche.
Douche Dodgers won't allow that, even though that's their best part of their team is the running backs.
Yeah, but if you're running the ball and you're behind 14 points, how good is it?
True.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, people are like, "Oh, let's run the ball." Yeah, but if you're down already, you're not gonna. But whatever it may be. But like I was going back to that schedule, Dallas has an easy schedule out these two games, so they've come out undefeated. If they go win these next two games, and they keep, and let's say Philly slips up somewhere, let's say the Giants, because the Giants aren't a good team, right? But they play hard. They don't give up. They're always in a game. They never get blown out. True. They wait for you to make a mistake. And Philly has not been playing from behind at all in the fourth quarter.
No, because they have a really big second quarter. So that's if you can sustain the second quarter from Philly, because the third quarter is horrible throughout the season.
But I will say this, going back to who's sitting, who's not sitting for the Eagles thing, if they're undefeated, they're not sitting anybody. They're going for it.
You think so?
Heck yeah. Part of history.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think also because you have such a mobile quarterback, you're taking a chance and he gets hurt, just like it happened to them when they won their first Super Bowl. Do you have a capable backup?
Not Benucci. Minshew.
I mean, is Minshew going to be the guy? I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but I don't know if that's who you want to put the ball in the hands to get you to the promised land.
I don't know. All I would say is they got better with the trade that they made with the Bears.
They did.
Defense. But again, I don't trust A.J. Brown to stay healthy for the full 17 games.
Yeah.
I think Devontae Smith is not – I think he's prone to injury.
Yeah.
And if you can get your hands on Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's a tough sucker, but it's hard to go 16-0, 17-0 in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, they could slip up against the Texans Thursday night, So I don't know. It just depends on what the records are going to be and what.
Yeah.
If they're undefeated, they're playing everybody coming into Jerry World and look for the Cowboys to snap that win streak right there and then.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's. I definitely can see that if they're undefeated. If they do have a loss, they'll sit them, right? Because what's the point? What's the point, right? What's the point?
And this
but
is
I do.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say this is the problem I have with the freaking NFL playoff situation. I don't mind having 7 teams in, but get the 7 teams in, and whoever has the best record, that's how you determine who has home field advantage, right? Instead of if someone from the South is going to have a losing record. The Atlanta Falcons are winning the division with 3-5 right now.
Right.
They're going to have a home playoff.
We'll be the wild card.
We'll be exactly.
Yeah, we'll be the wild card. We may lose. Let's see. We may lose the Minnesota game, so that would put us 14-3.
You think
if we win out?
You think we lose? I
don't think we would. I honestly don't think we would.
Prime time game. It's not a prime. It's a 3:30 kickoff. But Kirk Cousins on national time. Everyone watching him. He's not.
Yeah, I don't think he would. I don't think that they lose to Minnesota. But looking at the schedule, that's the only team other than Philly that I see us losing to. But even if we do, 13-4. Let's say we lose to Minnesota, we lose to Philly, right? 13-4 at the end. Well, that puts us in a wild card, against Atlanta, who has home field advantage, and they may be a 500 team or less. Because look, the reality is that division is horrible, right?
Carolina would have won the division if they wouldn't have that. If they would have the extra point. Let's just
DJ Moore,
and they're tanking this year.
DJ Moore, they're having a fire sale, but yet they could win their division.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And with a losing record, they could be. I think it was like 3-4. They would be, winning their division or leading the division. So, again, moving forward up to this point, I'm very happy with what I've seen. I'm excited for the Cowboys and I'm actually looking forward to the rest of the season. Usually by this time, I'm, hey, let's go see what we can do on Sundays. While the Cowboys are playing, so we won't be so frustrated. Walking the dog, playing with your kids, having family time, crocheting, basket weaving, something you could do. But I'm actually more in tune, like ready to go for this. So let's move into the fact that this past week, Zeek was on the sideline. Knee was hurt, right? So you insert Tony Pollard starting. 14 carries. We have 130, 35, 36 yards, something like that.
3 TDs.
3 touchdowns. So now everyone's saying, Pollard needs to start. Time to trade Zeek. People. Well, let's ask this question. At the end of the season, right, you still have Zeke on contract. He will be $11 million on the cap next year. Pollard is coming off his rookie contract, so he will be a free agent. Who's staying? Well, let's ask, is anyone going or who? Well, who's staying? Who gets that job?
You're asking me or Jerry?
I'm asking you, and then I'm going to ask you as if you were Jerry.
Me, if I was running the team, if I was the GM of the well-organized Dallas Cowboys.
Organized.
I'm keeping Pollard. I am. We saw Zeke makes this offense, and I hate saying this because he's he'll get you the tough yard. He does a fabulous job of pass blocking, where Pollard really does. But as we saw Sunday, what's the one thing Cowboys have always struggled with? First drives, right? Like we do not do good on. Man, we went right down the field and score. I know it was against the Bears, whatever. We look what we did with the Lions with the worst defense. You know what I mean? We could not score a touchdown. But with Pollard, you got to account for him being in the passing game. He just the motor. He makes our offense go a little bit smoother and just looks more comfortable, more fluid with Tony Pollard in there. I would love to keep both of them, but you're not going to be able to keep both of them because Zeke's going to want money, which he doesn't deserve by any stretch of the imagination. He doesn't deserve the $90 million that he got, more than $90 million that he got the first time. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I think he does. I think he does. And
Cowboys, no.
I think he does for this reason. He will play, and it may be to the detriment of the team, but he will play through, the bumps and bruises. Tony Pollard will not. There's reports coming out that after that third TD, he was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. I'm winded. Don't want to go back in. Right. And yes, you scored 3 TDs. Awesome.
They're up 20.
That's great. But 14 carry, I get that. But if we're talking about, hey, I'm in my contract year, I'm not sure. You already have a running back on contract. I'm looking for the most money I can get from whoever. Because, look, there are 31 other teams looking at me right now. Right. I want to put as much game film out there as possible. Why not stay in the game? Why not get as much as you can? Get 5 TDs. Get 200 yards.
Okay, so this is his first start and his first time as a feature bag. He hasn't got he hasn't been all those snaps in the last couple of years.
He's never had that in 4 years, though.
Exactly. So that's why he wasn't used to it. Like, come on, dude. Like, I know it's NFL. You got to be in shape, every this and that. Well, but going back to your question,
seize your moment.
I'm going back to your question. Our offense runs back.
Yes.
If I was Jerry, this is what I would do. I'll get with Zeke in a room like, hey, we paid you $9 million. You got your first guy. Running backs are not on the market right now. We'll pay you this to stay with us. And then I would franchise tag Tony Pollard. Because you already franchised Dalton Schultz. We've proven we don't really need Dalton Schultz.
No, we don't need him. Yeah. So he goes away.
Him, and we franchise tag Tony Pollard, get him whatever the running back market is. We keep him for another year, and it doesn't go against our salary cap. That's what I would do.
And I think we need both of them. I actually do think we need both of them. I think what they do when you have both,
I agree,
is you're able to really have kind of that thunder and lightning, that 1-2 punch, as Jerry likes to call it, right? Where you have a guy that, he may only get 4.2 or 4.3 or 4.5 yards per carry, but that's still 4.3, 4.5 yards a carry. If he runs on first down, which they do all the time, they run on first down, and you get 4 yards, guess what you have now? You have a 2nd and 6. Okay. If he runs another, 4 yards or 3 yards, guess what you have? A 3rd and 2 or a 3rd and 3. So now your offense is wide open. You do whatever you want to. You can have play action, right? You can have a swing pass. I mean, there's just so much you can do. But if all you're focusing on, which a lot of people are, is, oh, well, his yards per carry. But what does he do for the game? Right? What does he do for the team? So I'm looking at it from a standpoint of 30 rushes, right? You split the time. If you want Tony Pollard to have more, fine. But you still have to have Zeke. I actually think they should sign Pollard now, during the season.
So
get him. They got $24 million. They got the money. Go ahead, sign him now during the season, right? That way you don't have a bidding war with some other team, and go from there. Because I think you do need to have him. Sign him to a 3-year or 4-year contract. And in that way, if you want to cut Zeke at the end of the season because now you don't have the guaranteed money and it's not going to be such a big hit on your cap, go for it. Let him go. Trade him or cut him or whatever you want to do. I don't know if you're going to be able to trade him, because the question is where would he be able to go with that contract? That's the other part. Just kind of shooting some names around, teams. I don't know if there's any NFL team that's looking for a running back like that. Maybe the Jets.
I
don't know.
Jets will get their running back next year.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll get one back after a full ACL tear.
Yep.
Dude, the running back market is not what it used to be. This isn't the 90s NFL anymore. This isn't.
Nope.
It's a wide receiver market right now. Wide receiver and quarterback market. That's exactly what it is.
The only other place, maybe the Rams, because Akers, but I don't know.
Rams,
They're trying to work that out with him.
Sean McVay won't run the damn ball.
No, he
He's too
won't.
prideful.
Yeah. And he likes to put it down the field. So yeah, I'm hoping that they sign Pollard now before the end of the season. That way you got him under contract. There's not a bidding war, and you know what you have coming back. Because when Pollard wasn't in, you had Malik Davis and you had CeeDee Lamb running the ball. Which, what are we doing here?
We also have
what are we actually doing?
Yeah, Turpin.
You do. You have Kirkland, but it's Kirkland. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Let's be honest with ourselves. That you want an actual person that can, do the job well. Again, I keep saying that Turpin should be in on this offense at some point somewhere. And I understand about small receivers and the coach, and we've talked about this endlessly now, but we still don't see it. So I'm hoping during the bye they can look at that and do something. But I don't know.
I think there's like for a push, like I think they're going to use them more down the stretch when games become – all games are meaningful, but now we're starting to, like, separate the good teams from the bad, right? Like, we're starting to see where we're stacking up in the playoffs.
Right.
And that's just – the NFC is crap low right now. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Yeah.
I don't think the NFC is so crappy because the AFC – what does the AFC have? But they have the Bills and the Chiefs, and then who else?
Ravens.
Come on. You don't trust the Ravens, do you?
I don't trust them, but I think they're a top 4 team in the AFC.
Oh, no. I would give it to maybe Miami, just depending on how Tua.
That's 3. So who's your 4th?
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
I don't trust the Ravens.
Well, who else? Bengals, they look like crap without Jamar Chase against the Browns.
True. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think there's 4 strong AFC teams. I just don't. I think you have 3.
I think you have 3 that can win the Super Bowl and 1 that can make it playoff. 1 like make it tough but not win. You know what I mean? Like the Ravens.
Do we think Miami can really make this?
With their trade deadline moves, yes. With their trade deadline moves, yes.
Yes. So that's why I said you have 3, but the Ravens, nah. I'm not trusting them. I'm just
better Roquan Smith.
Okay, great, but your offense is getting a little bit better. The defense is, but the offense is still what it is.
I don't trust Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson as a human being.
I don't. I don't either.
I don't like if you make Lamar Jackson beat you with his arm, he'll make a couple good throws here and there, but he can't consistently do it. That's what I've been trying to say.
Exactly.
Everyone's like, he needs his big contract. No, the Ravens are doing it right. I would not pay Lamar Jackson what they're going to pay just because he's a running quarterback, and I just don't. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. And I might be the minority in that, but I just do not. I do not see Patrick Mahomes. I don't even see Justin Herbert. I don't see I just see running, which is a phenomenal runner. He is. He's a running quarterback, but he cannot consistently sit there in the pocket and throw the deep ball when it's time.
I think he has the tools to do it. I just don't know if it's all connecting together. So I mean that's the part for me, man, that I look at and say, okay, well, can he actually be that dude? And he's a mobile quarterback, and with mobile quarterbacks, nah. It's just not gonna happen. So there's that part. So, like I said, I don't think the AFC is just as strong as the NFC. I think the NFC is actually pretty good. San Francisco is coming along. New York Giants.
Me though.
Say what?
I don't trust Jimmy G.
How can you not trust Jimmy G? He's the one that beat us last
year. I will
say
this: the Christian McCaffrey thing probably put him in top 3, probably the 3rd best team, or probably the 2nd best team in the conference.
Dude, and they're getting Debo back. So just you have McCaffrey and Debo, and Jimmy G knows how to play this game and play that system.
He just didn't look good to me the other week. I just don't like if you have to put it in his arms. The defense, like they say, the defense has a bad game, and you need Jimmy Garoppolo to throw for. I don't know if you can do it. I just don't like. You have Kittle, you have Debo, you have Christian McCaffrey. But here's the thing: can Christian McCaffrey stay healthy all year? He looks good right now, but can he stay, especially going to a 49er team, which is known for injuries?
It is known for injuries. But I do think that when you have McCaffrey, Debo on that squad, and they got a nice running back too, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, shout out to everyone that has subscribed. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. Yo, thank you so much. We appreciate it. That's popping the sharp, champagne. Hey, appreciate. Good looking out. Love it. There you go. But no, man, look, San Francisco, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants. Let's see, who else do we have?
I'm still not a buyer in the Eagles. I'm not.
We're talking this year to the Super Bowl. Who potentially can go to the Super Bowl? And I hate to say it feels bad in my mouth to say anything about Philadelphia.
The Eagles are right. Their teams are starting to get tape on the Eagles. I'm not putting this Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh's done with. I don't care about that game.
Oh, Pittsburgh is done.
But teams are going to start getting tape, and they're going to start because it's a college-style offense, and it doesn't last long. Yeah. And once coaches figure it out, it's a recipe, and that's all Jalen Hurts can do is a college-style.
But the thing is that he's able to do it.
It will carry. Yeah, he can do it, but so could Tim Tebow, and that went on one playoff game, and then he got murdered in the play.
Tim Tebow was a good quarterback. He was a winning quarterback. I won't even say good. He's a winning quarterback. Look at the stats.
Oh,
Vince Young was a winning quarterback. Winning. That's all that matters. That's why you play the game.
This is why quarterbacks' wins-loss record is so overrated. If you go back, the defense, Tim Tebow's winning games 10-7. It's just like how Russell Wilson's winning games right now. They finally got over 2 touchdowns and finally in London. They beat a crappy Jacksonville Jaguars team. I mean, come on. Whatever. Well, this is a Cowboy show. Go ahead. I can talk about that right now.
But I think that's relevant though, because as we start to move again through the season and we start seeing how the NFC is stacking against the AFC, and everyone is saying that the NFC is down, but I keep looking at the teams in the NFC playing against the AFC and saying, you know what? I don't see how they're down. I don't see how the NFC is so down.
Would you put Buffalo and Kansas City up here and then the rest down here?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why the AFC, I think, is stacked.
But it's 2 teams.
It's 2 teams. We don't have 2 teams in the NFC that can stack up to what they can. I'm including Philadelphia in that.
Philly and the Cowboys.
Philadelphia and Kansas would lose heavily to one of those 2 teams.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so. Because here's the thing. Kansas City does not have a good defense. We can agree on that, correct?
They're better than we were last year.
But they were trash last year.
Do you really need defense to stop you 1 or 2 times? Because no one's the way that Patrick Mahomes is throwing that ball around this year.
So with that, they only got 24 points.
I don't care. He's still winning with the bad defense.
But we have a great defense. The Cowboys have a great defense.
Do we have a great offense, though?
That's we have
a great defense that allows 25 points to the Chicago Bears team.
We allowed 29. They got 29. But that's what I'm saying. I think
we had a 28 to 14. We had a 21-7 lead, and we still let them within 3 points of us.
Yes.
Come on, man.
But you can have a good defense. 29 to 29.
Not going to win you game.
But defense will win you championships, and Philly has a good, not great, good defense. it's good. We started to figure out their offense in the second half of that game, right? And then that's when you saw that third and fourth quarter. Oh yeah.
Until they ran it down our throat and we couldn't stop the run.
And what did we have to do? We knew we had to stop the run. We had to go and get somebody to stop the run. And I was actually kind of disappointed that we didn't do more in the trade deadline before the trade deadline to help with that. I think that's our major weakness there.
We got Haskins.
Yeah, we got him.
I still trust Dan. Dan Quinn. I think he's going to figure out the run defense. I think, but I just I don't, dude. I just think Buffalo is way far better than anybody in the NFL, and I think it's theirs to lose this year. Like if you look at their offense, they're like, "Oh, Philly has all these weapons." Have you seen Buffalo's offense? Have you seen all their weapons?
Buffalo has a lot of They have a lot of weapons.
Defense? The number one ranked defense in the league.
Right.
That's that. I mean, Philly.
But you know what this is?
Not a story, but I don't think they're the best team.
But this is what it's like. This is what I'm hearing, and what I compare it to is when you have one team or two teams in a whole conference, right? In a whole conference, now everyone is saying that they're better. That conference is better because of two teams. It's just like the SEC, right? You got two or three teams in that conference that are really good, or the program has been good. They may have a down year, but they're going to be ranked higher because it's the SEC. It's the SEC, right? It's the ACC. It's the program. That's just what it's the Big Ten.
Big Ten's overrated.
Well, but they're going to have somebody there.
I would argue
they'll have someone there.
I get what you're saying. We're not talking about football. You get me started on something, then I'll go off on it. I'm trying my best.
And hey, there's rumors that Gonzaga is going to join the Big 12. So there you go. But I'm just there has to be a point though where people are jumping on the Cowboys bandwagon again. I just don't want to be disappointed. As now I'm saying, it's fun to watch the Cowboys. Like it's not dreary. It's not that. What are they going to do this time?
Well, I will say this. These in the past, you'd be like, oh, Dallas will lose to the Lions or the Bears, right? Like oh crap, we might be with that. Like we don't know. I felt very confident in what we were watching. Like I was like, okay, we got this. And same thing with the Giants. And the Giants proving that it was a better win than what I thought it was when they won the game at the time.
Absolutely.
I got a little scared when we got behind 7 points, but then I was like, what, we can come back and win this game. So it is a different field, maybe because it is that defense and everything. But one thing I'm starting to get nervous about with the Dallas Cowboys defense is Micah Parsons kind of the hamstring a little bit. He's playing you know what I mean?
The hamstring. Yeah.
So the perfect time to get the bye week and everything like that. So but it does but we've been fool's gold before, right, with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, we have.
And Joy Taylor said this great on Speak. Until Dallas proves to me personally, I don't know about you, but to me, until they prove that they can make an NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, I still have doubts. I do, because we've been broken so many times.
We have been, and we wear our hearts on our sleeves, and people make memes of it, and all of that. So I mean, it's hard because you want to stick with them and believe and say, okay, I trust what I'm seeing, and I think now because of the defense and the offense is figuring it out. I don't know if McCarthy said, "Hey, look, let me help you out here, guy, Kellen. Let's tweak this here." Again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year. Is it okay to say Super Bowl here now?
I'm not saying Super Bowl yet, just because
it's not. Is no
until we prove it. Man,
I'm
not saying Super Bowl yet.
Okay.
I'm not. I just because I've been let down so many times. Like I don't want to feel
Yeah.
that feeling again. You know what I mean? But this, if Dallas isn't going to do it this year, then win, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
because of the I guess you can say parity in the league. But there's no
Yes.
one really outstanding in NFC that's going to be in your way. Like last year,
No.
okay, Tampa Bay, the Rams when they got Odell
Yeah.
Beckham Jr. I was like, okay, they're a superior team. San
Mhm.
Francisco proven to be a superior team with their defense and Kyle Shanahan's run game and stuff like that. So, but this year, no one really scares me until you
Yeah.
get to the Super Bowl. So if you're the
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, if it's not this year, then win. And I would have said at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year because of like, oh crap, we're gonna have not so much of a talented team this year than we did last year, but that
Mhm.
defense has stepped up big time, except for last week.
Huge.
This is one thing that also scares me about the defense, though. And this might be like I feel like they can let up a little bit, and I kind of saw that with the Bears a little
Mm.
bit. Like, because we
Mhm.
have Dak back, we don't have to do a lot. Like, if Dak can carry us back, Dak can do this. You know what I mean? With Cooper Rush, like everything has to be perfect, and they had to do their job. Where the defense is like, oh, we can take chances here, we can do this, we can do that. That's a little bit that's what's scaring me right now, and I hope that they reel that
Yeah.
in because we allowed 29. And yes, Justin Fields and the Bears, they figured. I mean, they put over 30-some points over Bill Belichick on Monday night before. But at the same time, you're the Dallas Cowboys defense who before the Eagle game, you never allowed 20 points. Now you're allowing 29 to the Philadelphia Eagles. And then you held the Detroit Lions to 6 points when they're the
6. Yeah.
highest point. So that's one thing that does scare me is like I hope they just don't get complacent and relax a little bit. And they say, oh, Dak can get like we let them touch on, oh, we'll score on the next play because this ain't it. We don't have that high power offense like
Well, I
we
think
used to in the past.
Well, I think the big thing too, the takeaway from last year going into this year was can we beat winning teams? Like last year we couldn't beat any winning teams.
Well, as we
Teams that
can't
were
prove
over
that
500.
we can't prove that this year either because of our crappy schedule.
We've beat New York.
Yeah, which looks like a good win now.
Right?
Next one's Minnesota. That's it. That's the only team with
Yeah.
winning record, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. So I mean that's the key there. And I think you're right. This is the year. If we don't do it this year, then I do think the window starts to close. I think it starts to close. Yeah, I think it starts to close. And now again, it goes back to the question of Zeke or Pollard. Who do you keep? And then do you go out for another receiver? You have Gallup on contract, you have CeeDee Lamb, but I think that's going to be his final year in his rookie contract.
Sure will be.
So, do you go into the draft someone else? Washington still hasn't hit the field yet, so we don't know what he's going to look like. So, it's a crowded receiver room. I know they got rid of Tristan Hill. I'm hoping they do get a run stopper. Yeah, I know, right? As one person that's in my group say, another Rod Marinelli project that failed. Yep. And I hate that because I think Rod Marinelli is a good coach, but just not an eye for talent.
Yeah. He made that defense play hard, rush to the ball,
yeah.
But he was
absolutely
he was too old.
Yeah. The game had passed him by, and it's just sad, kind of sad for that because like I said, I liked him as a coach. I think he made him overachieve in my opinion. But there has to be a point where you do have to have stars on both sides of the ball. And if you don't, then it just won't work. It just won't work. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to. I'm actually, like I said, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I think the Cowboys can definitely go to the NFC Championship, and depending on who's there, right? So I think it's safe to say that Philly is going to win that 1 seed. They'll have the 1 seed.
Right now, yes, unless like a major injury happens.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Right.
Or they
Philly
somehow
has the 1 seed.
Spontaneous combust and which I want to.
Well, they'll have the 1 seed. Yeah. They'll get the bye.
I want to see that with the Eagles. like if they have a loss, how do they respond after a loss? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
is it? Are
Yeah.
they just riding the momentum right now? That's what I want to see. Like, are they like with the Bills? We saw they lost the game, but they came back. The Chiefs
Yeah, they
lose the
bounced
game.
back.
Dallas lost the game.
Yeah.
They came. Philadelphia. Are they just riding the momentum of the undefeated and the hot streak that they're on right now, or
Yeah.
like I just want? That's why I want to see a loss. That's what I want to see. Adversity, I guess you could say, for the Philly, and they haven't had any this year.
No, and like I said, they really haven't even been down, especially going into the half of any of their games. So, yeah, how do they respond to that? But I think if you're having fun, and I kind of liken this to when Carolina made their run, their Super Bowl run, right? They were just riding a momentum, and it was fun, and people, they're joking on the sidelines, and everyone's, taking, pictures or celebrating all in the end zone, and it was fun until they got to the Super Bowl, and there was some adversity, and then you saw Cam really be Cam. That fumble, yeah, that's sad, man. And I think that defined his career, the rest of his career.
Yep.
It's like, oh, okay. If something isn't working for him, he just gives up. So I don't know. I like Dak and the direction he's moving. I don't like the words he chooses or his mental processing of, I don't have to ever have to score as long as we win. And okay, but we're paying you $40 million to do a good job. And if that means that we got to put it on your shoulders, can you do that? And I don't know if he can.
We're gonna find out.
But Pollard is explosive enough that he can break, a 60-yard run and score. But I think if you have Zeek, that helps.
Yeah.
You have Zeek to help. It is. It definitely is. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead. Let's get into one of your favorite segments, brother. Legends of the Star. And let's see. I said, I can't decide between the two that I was looking at. Who did I even say? Now I forgot.
No.
Oh no, I got it. So do you want to do? I'll do mine. That way you can think of yours, because I know you don't have it. You never do. See, there you go. So mine is actually Greg Ellis. Greg Ellis. I liked Greg Ellis. Greg Ellis was nice. Kind of, overachieved, I believe, and stood out, but great defensive player for Dallas. Really liked Greg Ellis. That was my guy. Who's yours, Trey?
Well, since this is the anniversary of Emmitt Smith breaking the rushing record, I'm going Daryl Johnson.
Hey, that's a very good one, of course. Moose needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Needs to be in the Hall of Fame. He won't be there, but he needs to be.
Man, can you imagine if Barry Sanders was behind that line of scrimmage?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
And there was a time when he was going to come to Dallas towards the end of his career. But, Detroit wanted way too much. And so he just said, you know what, I'll retire.
Yep.
But, yeah, he was going to come. He's got kids down here, the whole nine. So that would have been awesome to have Barry Sanders down here. We would have, my gosh, just imagine. It's crazy. That's crazy. Well, look, we're going to go ahead and cut this show here, unless Trey has something else he wants to talk about with Tony Romo.
No, I'm good. It's a bye week. Everyone just needs to relax. Let's get ready for the second half of the season.
That's right. Relax. Get ready for the second part of the season.
It sucks, dude. I hate the bye week. Because,
bye week
all
is
week
fun.
work, you're like, yes, we get to watch Cowboys. And now it's like,
yeah.
Okay. And then this week's
Oh.
slew of NFL games, so there's only 2 3:00 kickoffs. They're like, come on, man. Like, what's going on?
So what are you going to do this Sunday then?
Oh, my
What are you going to
God.
do for the weekend?
So my wife called me at work the other day.
There you go.
Hon, does the Cowboys play this week? I'm like,
She knew the answer to that.
she did. I go, yes, they do. I go, really? Because I'm looking at the schedule, said they're not. I go, well, they knew they didn't play. Then why are you calling me?
Why you calling me?
He goes, okay. Well, we're gonna take family pictures that day then. Okay, thanks. Bye. I'm like,
so you're taking family pictures
because we haven't done it in 2 years. So apparently we got to take family pictures. So that's
every 2 years. That's
but
it.
but Saturday, man,
That's
Saturday I'm doing absolutely nothing.
There you go.
I'm on a great college slate of games going on this week. This is
oh man, yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
You got Notre Dame. You got Notre Dame at Clemson at Notre Dame. Then you have Tennessee at Georgia. You got
that's gonna be a great game.
State. You have Alabama at LSU.
Yes, sir.
And then I think you have Ohio State. No, you don't have Ohio. But those are the 4 big games that you need to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It really is. It's gonna be a really good weekend of football for college. And yeah, I'm gonna watch some other teams. This is my last week of flag football. I am so excited and happy because it's been on Sundays and I haven't been able to watch live. I have to go back and kind of piece together clips here and there. But yeah, it's bye week sucks, but this is a time to rest. So you rest out there as well, Cowboy Nation. Have a good time. Go see some friends that maybe you haven't seen before, right? And check up on your Cincinnati Bengals friends because I'm sure they're hurting a lot, especially where the Browns put that whipping on them.
Oh, my God. Dude, we went trick-or-treating. I didn't even check the score. I'm like, oh, the Bengals are killing them. That's what I was like, no. Yeah. I had to refresh my phone like 5 times. Like, this cannot be right. I come home and after I'm like, sure enough, it's right. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. They gave them the business. They were giving them the business. So, yo, appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing, smashing that bell. Make sure you like. Love the likes. Appreciate it so much. Big Game Sports Buzz, Big Game Entertainment, doing big things. Make sure that you catch the other shows and make sure that you check out Trey. Trey, you still doing Hill Country Sports?
Yes, Nova Moore, Tyvee, sideline reporting. Big game this week. Tyvee has actually clinched the playoff. They had an upset victory over they were like 25, 24 or something team in the state. Went over Thursday night in the pouring rain. That's why I was sick this weekend. Came down from 17 points down. And the other team scored with 1 minute, 8 seconds left to go in the game. They kicked the ball off on the kickoff return, ran it back to get the 35-31 win to clinch a playoff victory. But this Friday night, they're playing Lockhart, and if we win, we get the 2 seed and host a playoff game next week. If they lose, we have to go to number 3 team ranked in the state. So, which one do you want? Both teams are, because of the other team. If they win, they get the 3 seed. And they don't have to face that. But if they lose, they have to face that. So it's like, who are you going to get? So it's going to be a good game, and I'm excited for it. So
there you go. For sure. Got to shout out my alma mater, those Dunbar Wildcats. Let's see, 4-6A championship this weekend over in Kennedale, I believe is where it's going to be. So I'm looking forward to that. I may go out there and check them out Friday night. So shout out Wildcat. I'll be a Wildcat. Who be you?
Yeah, well, we still have time. I'm going to put my cousin on blast for a minute. We're from New Mexico, right?
All right.
Yeah, we're from New Mexico. He had the audacity to tell me this.
Not the audacity, Trey.
New Mexico football is better than Texas football. I'm like, you have got to be freaking kidding me.
They all say that.
And he lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm like, dude, you have South Lake Carroll. You have Denton Geyer. You have Denton Allen. You have they're not good right now, but Trinity. You got Trinity. You have Trinity. Man, you have Planos. You have all these teams that could probably be 4 college teams. Like, it's ridiculous. Yes. In New Mexico, you have whatever. It's like,
man.
Texas playoffs. It's a whole new season because you got to win 6 games. Or
exactly.
New Mexico 2 games to win.
Oh no, sir.
Yeah, it's not a true state championship.
That's your area. That's not the state. Yeah, that's true. I've had some people from up northeast. Oh yeah, Pennsylvania, and this and I'm like, hey, you guys play hard, but it is not Texas
The only
high
one
school football.
would be Florida.
Florida, yep.
Florida might be it.
Florida, Georgia has some good programs out there. Alabama has some good programs. But yeah, definitely, if we're talking high school football, I'm looking at Texas and Florida. And that's where most of your recruits come out of.
Yep.
Right? Your receivers, your running backs, your quarterbacks, they come out of there. California is really good for quarterbacks. But yeah, that's where you're looking. But hey, that's another show. We'll have to get with that, man. But hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Stay Cowboy.